All right, here we go. Back page of 4.2, 4-2, and we are expressing each function b of x. So we've got three different b of x's here. B of x is expressing it as a composite of the functions provided. So don't really have a great trick for you here other than looking through and seeing which of the functions over here on the left you recognize kind of wrapped up inside of these functions. Like maybe you're looking at a, and you say, hey, I have 1 over x. That is k of x. So I'm going to know that k of x is going to be involved here. So k of x. And the square root of some x plus 1. Hey, that's r of x. So we're going to have r of x over here. And then from there, working out which one is a composite of which. So looking for your pieces is going to give you your first step. And then getting our correct order of the composition after that. So if I'm going to be plugging in a function into another, I'm going to start with what am I, whether you want to start on the outside or work your way in, kind of I guess is up to you. But I might say, hey, this is going to be the r of x function, but my x isn't x. What am I plugging in for x? And then saying that, hey, what we're plugging in is going to be the k function. So r of k of x. That's what we've got here on this first one. Or you could rewrite that as r of k of x. All right. Second, you might notice that, hey, I've got pieces of the h function down here, but I have 1 over the square root of something else. And hey, I don't have 1 over the square root of something, but I do have 1 over. So here's r again. And where did I get my square root of something? And hey, that's going to be the r function again. So the pieces kind of involved here look like they're going to be, well, what's my broadest piece of it? It looks like it's the k function. So k of x. But instead of x, what am I plugging in? Well, it's going to be my, just lost my train of thought. K of, and then after that I've got my r function. We've got the square root of x plus something, and notice that h is a little bit off. It's 1 higher because, hey, look, on r we added 1. So this is going to work out perfectly. So we've got k of r of h of x. So notice all the compositions here. We started, if you're working your way backwards, you'd have, here's my first piece, 3x squared minus 2x minus 3, and then I'm going to take the square root of all of that, but add 1 to it. So that's my r function here. That's my next piece out. And then once I've taken the square root of it and added 1 there, that I'm going to go all the way out. And now that is getting plugged into the k function. So it's 1 over all of that as my new x, and kind of building our way out. C, and I actually can't see both of these at the same time. C looks like it's going to have, again, h is involved there. I've got, I can see pieces, I can see pieces of, I am losing my, there we go. Pieces of h, okay, I've got 3 over x squared minus 2 over x minus 3. So I know h is involved here. And h is going to be my outer function. So h of, but what's happening to my x? Well, it looks like my x value is actually getting dropped down to the denominator. And so how would that happen? Well, if I took the k function. So h of k of x. And if these are tripping you up, you can always check yourself by going back and actually just, well, now that I think it's h of k of x, I'll go ahead and we'll do one now. So h of x is 3x squared minus 2x minus 3. And so if I've got that as my function, and I'm saying I'm going to plug in as my x, if it's a compound function, I'm plugging in k of x. Now what was k of x? k of x was 1 over x. So, or 1 divided by x. So I'm going to plug that in for my x's, and so h of k of x means I have 3, kind of in parentheses, squared 1 over x, minus 2 times, and again in parentheses I'm plugging it in, 1 over x, and lastly minus 3. I'd work through and I have 1 over x squared is 3 times 1 over x squared, which would simplify down to 3 over x squared, and negative 2 times 1 over x, so that's going to be minus 2 over x, and minus 3, so it simplifies down to, oh, drop my squared, simplifies down to 3 over x squared minus 2 over x minus 3, and that's, hey, that's what b of x is. So b of x is h of k of x. We did a good job. We figured it out. So again, you can check all these by actually plugging them back in and working them through to see if we're getting all the right pieces and everything in the right order. Order definitely does matter. So take a moment, especially as we're learning this, to plug it back in and see if we're being successful with it. All right, hope this is helping.